Hey everyone, it's Priscilla, Cliff's mom here. Started up just a little bit early, hoping everybody's able to find me. Sorry, I look like an alien or a bug. You can see my screen in my glasses. I suppose I could take them off, but then I can't see. I believe I have a few people coming on live. Hopefully they're able to figure out how to get on here. Let me just give you a little history. I'm going to take these off. Okay. My husband and I have been this is our 5th year doing a candlelight ceremony. And we decided this year to do only an online ceremony. We usually do a live event and also provide a ceremony online. But we decided to start doing the online presentation. We weren't having a lot of people show up, and it just all worked out this way. And it rained today, so the good Lord always knows our destiny before we do. So it all worked out just fine. I just wanted to reach out to people to see if they would like to share. And I'm just learning this Google Plus thing, so it's very possible that the invite I'm sending and the links I'm sending aren't links for people to actually talk live. I promise I'll figure this out, but just a little bit about the ceremony. I actually gather photos and put those on the videos. I get videos from different. I do make some of my own. It just depends on the year. Every year I do something a little bit different, and it just whatever inspires me is what I do. So just know that sometimes, actually, I had to change my video on my blog because YouTube blocked me. Well, it happens every now and again. If you have music on there from somebody famous or whatnot, they don't allow you to play it, which seems so silly. It's not like it's being pirated or anything, but it happens. So I have a backup plan. I put it on Google Drive now, so it's able to actually stream. And when I get done here, just before 7, I will actually also put at cliffstory.org. It actually streams live on Cliff Story page and Facebook. So that's a pretty cool thing, so that everybody can see it. This year, as in years past, we have a lot of different people who will be on the video. I encourage you to email me if you have somebody that you would like to have on the video presentation next year. I would actually love to have your loved one on there. You can just email me at cliffstory.com@gmail.com. So that's Cliff, plural, CliffStory.com@gmail.com. You can send me a photo anytime. I put those aside, and actually I enjoy becoming your Facebook friend if I'm not already, because then I can look back and find some really cool photos, or I can find out if there's some music or something that's special to you. I try really hard to just try and make it a little easier. I know it's hard. It's been 10 years. We just celebrated 10 years since my son Cliff left us in May of 2005. And you don't get over it. You don't ever get over the loss of a child. But you do learn to live differently. So you do become whole again. You're just different, if that makes any sense at all. So for those of you who are very raw and fresh in your grief, I know my family is over my cousin Kelly. And I know it's hard. And to be quite honest with you, when I think back to right after Cliff died, I really couldn't tell you a lot of specifics. I could tell you that I didn't want to be alone for about a week or two. And honestly, it's just so painful that I didn't trust myself. So that was mainly the reason. I didn't want to be alone. I didn't want to call anybody and tell them what had happened. I didn't want to actually even live in the same town anymore. I wanted to just run away. We almost moved away, and then we didn't. And then a year later, we did. I think it was a year. No, actually, it was about 2 or 3 years later. We actually did move for a little while out of our little town of Reedley, where my son is buried. But we came back. I needed to be by my family. My husband decided that he wasn't good at management. And so we came home. And we've been home ever since. And I'm glad. We did actually close down our nonprofit office today, actually, but we moved the last Cliff's display. But he's back home with us now. And it's kind of interesting. It all happened today, but that's okay. We have candles lit for my son, and it doesn't matter how many years go by. We'll never, ever stop making sure people do not forget him. And I know as a parent, as a mom, especially, I speak as a mom only because I am a mom, but I think that's one of the things that a mom wants most is their child to not be forgotten. And that's huge. So if I could give you any piece of advice at all, I guess I would say find something that you can do in your child's memory that will carry their name on. That's what I've done with Cliff's nonprofit and will continue doing in his memory. So this candle lighting ceremony that's beginning at 7 p.m., it actually goes throughout the continent, starts in New Zealand. That's where the time zones start, and at 7 p.m. in each time zone, we light a candle for our child. So it kind of gets confusing because it says 7 p.m. in compassionatefriends.org, but it's actually 7 p.m. in your own time zone. So it starts in New Zealand. It's pretty cool. So every hour, a new candle is lit for in a different time zone for children. So it lights the entire world. It goes around the globe. It's pretty cool. I found this 5 years ago and started it then and have done it every year. This is a very tough time of the year. So it's just a way to remember our loved one. The closer it gets to Christmas, the harder it seems to be. And I know that I've started new traditions, and I would encourage you to try and do the same. I've only had my new tradition. This will be the 3rd year, so I know that it can take a little time before you actually feel like starting a new tradition. But I can tell you that it does help. Prior to that, my husband and I would just divert. We would turn the TV off. We would go to a casino and eat and distract ourselves the entire day. We'd come home and then we'd watch recorded movies, because I tell you what, Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, oh my goodness, it's just so sad. There's just all these Christmas movies and it's just too painful. So we tend to divert on Christmas Day, but Christmas Eve I spend with my niece and my nephew, and we have a lot of fun. And this will be the 3rd year that I'm actually able to celebrate Christmas. Prior to that, I just didn't. I diverted and diverted and diverted. And you know what? That's okay. You do what you have to do for as long as you have to do it to make it through. That's the important thing, is just getting through it. I remember just how excruciating painful it is after losing a child, and it's that way for quite some time. And you just have to embrace the journey. There's no other way to get through it, honestly. Oh, I'm gonna have to put my glasses on. I can't see what time it is. Woo, it's pouring outside here where I'm at. Okay, 6:37. We got about 15 more minutes. I want to make sure that I get off of here in time for everybody to light their own candle. I obviously have already lit my candles, but I do also have to make sure I get the candle lighting ceremony started on time. I don't know what else I could actually offer up to you in regards to grief, but compassionatefriends.org does have a lot of great information there. Also, depending on your child and how you lost them, support groups tend to be pretty great, because if you are involved in a support group that is similar to your child's loss, it really helps, because the people that are there actually understand what you're going through. I like this compassionatefriends.org. I love this annual candle lighting ceremony because it's focused on the loss of children, and the loss of a child, no matter how they're lost, is unique and it's very tough. And I know that there are sometimes people out there that are cruel, and I think it really boils down to they just have no clue what it's like to lose a child. So I would like to think that that's why sometimes they're cruel. I know that sometimes people will judge and say, what's wrong with her? It's been, well, look at me. I have only celebrated Christmas for 3 years. My son was gone for 7 years before I started celebrating Christmas again. And I only celebrate it with my niece and nephew. I don't really do it at home. And it doesn't matter how long it takes you to do whatever it is you want to do. Everybody's grief process is different. Everybody goes through it differently, and however you get through it is fine. Don't let anybody make you feel like there's something wrong with you. Grief is grief, and there's just no other way to get through it than to get through it. And there's no perfect way. You know, there isn't a book to tell you this is how you're going to feel. Now, there are books out there that can tell you different things that you may feel, but bottom line is you just get through it however you can get through it, and that's okay. And, you know, find some things that gave you some comfort. Perhaps there's something that your child did. Maybe it's not something that you would necessarily do, but maybe do it anyway and think of them. And sometimes that helps you feel their presence, and that's a cool thing. I know that I love when I dream about my son, and it's not really dreaming about him, it's like dreaming that I'm with him. That is the coolest thing ever. I haven't had one of those dreams in quite some time, but they are so cool when it happens. It's just, you wake up and I can't explain it. You feel like you just spent the evening with them. It's pretty cool. So I hope that if you haven't had that experience, that you do sometime soon and often, because it's really cool. It's very cool. I can tell you it's been over 10 years, and when I was making this video that you'll watch at 7, I know everything that was put on that video. I put it together myself, but when you sit down and you actually watch it, and you're not, you know, going through the mechanics of making sure everything's correct, and you're just sitting there and you're watching it, it was very emotional. It was very touching, and I hope that I help some of you out there this evening in some way. And I know that it can be sad in a way, but it's the memory of our children, and our children are on the video, and how can that be bad? It's not. It's just, it can be extremely emotional. Have had too much loss this year, and so maybe that's why it was a little more emotional. I don't know, but it was extremely emotional, and it's my way. It's my way of getting through this as well. If I can help others in the process, that's all I want. That's my goal. And I wish I could just reach out and hug each and every one of you and just take it one day at a time. Take a deep breath, find out what brings peace to your life, and do it often. And give yourself a break. Give yourself time. You need time to get through. I didn't know if I was ever going to be complete, and I'm so thankful that I am. It doesn't mean that I don't have days where it feels like it was just yesterday that my son left us. So hang in there. Get your candles ready. Get a nice, comfy spot, and watch the video. It's going to be at cliffstory.org streaming live, or you can go to cliffstory.com and click on the video and watch it there. But the idea is to light your candle at 7 p.m. and leave it lit for an hour. And the video presentation is just under an hour. Give you a few minutes after the video is over to watch your candle, think of your loved one, your child, and just enjoy honoring them for this hour. Okay, everyone, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I know I had some family that wanted to come on here, and I'm going to have to learn how to do this Google thing better. Well, we'll chat on Facebook later after the ceremony. Just know that I love you all, and I wish you the very best. I wish you lots of peace, joy, and love in your heart over the holidays. Be kind to yourself. I love you. Bye.